Hello, hello, hello. Listen. We are back for another Thriving Thursday. Yes. 2022, we are here and we are here to stay. We are so excited to bring to you this Thriving Thursday with our new guests and our new host today. Oh my gosh, y'all, we got new guests, new hosts. Okay, so we are going into this beautiful month of March, and March is known for Women's History Month. And today, when we're recording it on a Tuesday, it's Women's International Day. But when you'll be watching this, it will be Thursday. So we'll be on Thriving Thursday. So we're going to see how this format works. So if you're watching this again, we thank you, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this by replay. And I want to introduce to some and present to others my beautiful co-host, Kawana Ballet and Baby Anna Anderson. And I would love for them to introduce themselves in their own way. And we'll start with Fabiana.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Thriving Thursday. I am so excited to be on again with a lovely co host and our founder, Miss Andrea Perry and Kawana. It's such a joy and delight to be a part of something, not just something good, something godly. So here I am, again, a woman of God's business, Fabiana Anderson, just trying to be in the number with some great inspiration. And I thank you for watching. You can always find me a Woman of God's Business or Facebook, Fabiana Anderson. And again, we're going to have a good time on tonight.
All right. Let's go with Kawana Valet.
Hi, yes, my name is Kawana Valet. I'm excited to be here. Pre-recording on Tuesday, International Women's Month, and seeing you guys on the replay for Thursday, Thriving Thursday. So I'm excited to be coming on for Thriving Thursdays, co-hosting with my sis Andrea Perry and Fabiana, and our lovely guest on tonight. You can find me on social media, Kawana Ballet. Um, I am in corporate America, and I also have a baking business, Southern Girls Sweets. So you can find that also on social media. And I'm just excited to be here on tonight.
All right. Now I want to introduce to some and present to others our beautiful. You're just so beautiful. Jessica Rodgers. She is our therapist for the hour, and we will be coming to her with some, I believe, we're going to be just doing a little surface questions, and then we might dig a little deep, depending on where the conversation takes us. But she is a social worker. She is a host on The Godly View. She is a mother. She is a homeowner. Come on, put your hands together for a homeowner. You better
Thank
do
you.
it. She is thriving and is our guest for tonight. So if you would like to say anything else and introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be here tonight. Thank you for letting me join you ladies on this lovely evening. And hello to everyone that'll be watching on Thursday. And happy Women's International Day. And happy Women's International Day to all women out there just trying to make it work and just going through each day, conquering and making it look good while you do it. Okay. And so, like she said, my name is Jessica Rodgers. Um, I may be new to this show, but I also work with Andrea on our other show, The Godly View, and I'm just glad to be a special guest on her show and support her in any way that I can and just uplift people. And that's something I like to do. So I'm glad to be here tonight, supporting other Black women and supporting women in general, because if we stick together, that's how we all lift each other up.
Come through, Jessica. I just love her so much. She has a very calming spirit, and she always brings a sense of peace. Every time I see her, I see a beautiful glow. That's why I just keep saying when I see her, I just had to say beautiful like 3, 4 times because there's a beautiful glow whenever you see her. And something that I want to kind of like touch on before we get started is one thing that we really want to express in this season is being whole. So we're having like an overarching theme of wholeness. So this is going to be, we're going to have some wellness tips in there. We're going to have some peace. We're going to have some balance. We're going to talk about tranquility. We're going to talk about a lot of things this month, but we really want to stress the wholeness. And as we begin today, I would love to let Fabiana start off with our questions. But as we begin, I want you to, like, you as a viewer, I want you to put yourself in the mindset of what kind of questions would I ask a therapist? What kind of questions do I have for Jessica? And we want you to put them down in the comment section. Yes, we, pre-recorded, but at the same time, she gonna still see y'all. So go ahead, put your questions down in the comment section and let us know how you feel, what you're thinking, and give us some feedback. We love feedback. So we're gonna get started with Fabiana.
Good evening to our fabulous woman of God for tonight. Our first question, what we're talking about on tonight is peace and balance, learning how to maneuver it all, how to be in peace, how to be in balance with all the many things that we have going on in life. As a woman, as a person, you may have businesses, you may have a whole family, you may have ministry, whatever the case may be. We need to know and learn how to be at peace and have some balance in our life. So, Jessica, explain to us how we can have those things.
Well, I can. So I always like to speak just from my standpoint of view because I can't speak for everybody. But in a general sense, I have learned in my 35 short years of living that a good way to do nothing is to do everything, right? We have key things in our life that are like, such as our family, such as God, such as our business and work, that are key areas in our life. But we have to realize what areas matter most. So for me, God and my daughter are high priority in my family. So when I look at how I do things, I have to realize, okay, is it going to get out of balance with my priority and with what God entrusted to me? So my first ministry is my daughter, right? Is to make sure that she's on the right track in life, and keeping her on the right track. And to do that, I have to spend time with her. So if I'm spending all my time at work, then for me, I'm out of balance. My piece is messed up because now I'm worried about how am I going to spend time with my daughter. So that's one of the things that I always look at first is that staying in balance. So peace for me is finding that balance of what is my top priority. Where is God telling me that I need to be at most, right? And that's what we want to, when we're looking at from a godly view, we want to be in purpose and walking in purpose and staying at the pace that He has us at. And so when we start striding, that's when we get out of balance. When we start trying to get everything else, that's when the things that really matter start coming out of going out of our view. So we want to make sure that we stay at the pace that is good for us, because the next person's pace is not our pace. And so when we start comparing, that's when we start messing our own pace up. So we want to stay at a pace that's good for us and remember what's most important in each individual's life. So like I said, my ministry is my daughter and making sure that she's taken care of. And so that's how I decide where I give my attention, and if I can give my attention to that, because if I do too much, then my balance is thrown off, and initially my peace is thrown off because I become out of whack.
That sounds
I
good.
like the
Proverbs
way you intermingled peace and balance.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you were talking, it was like when you have peace, you have balance, and when you have balance, you have peace.
Mm-hmm.
And now, when I was coming up with this, y'all, tonight, I didn't see it like that till she just said it like that. Now, this is good. This is good. Okay, Kawana, go ahead with the next question.
Okay, so the next question is, what is the number one way you established peace in your life?
The number one, well, back to that, is finding balance. And each stage of life, especially these last 2 years, have been a juggle. I will just say, God has really had to meet me where I was, okay? Because, like, I did feel my peace was until I bought my home. That's a whole nother story, but like I started looking.
Tell
I
us
live
the story. We want to know the story. Tell us the story.
Well,
Story time.
I moved in with my mom 2 years ago, right? To help. Well, one was to finish school and to help her while I was. It all worked out for me to help her financially, and then also me living there to help her out with the house and things like that. And then I could be able to finish school and save up to buy a home, because that was my end goal. And so, with the pandemic hitting, nobody saw that coming. And then we started looking for houses last year, with the housing market and the way it was in my area, especially for what I could afford. Like, I was like, the houses needed a lot of work. And I was like, well, okay, I'll just rent. So I had settled on that. And I had started a first time home owners program, but I was like, well, there's nothing that I really see that would be beneficial for me even to just take a risk on. So I was just like, I had just shut it up. Like, okay, God said not right now, so renting will be the option. That's fine. And so literally come December, the program that I have been working with called me and was like, we have a house that we flipped and we want you to look at it. And then I looked at it in January, and by the end of January, I had already committed, signed. In beginning of February, it was mine. So, yeah. So I just, that was God working, because I didn't even say what my price range was. It was all in my price range. Actually, it was, below what I wanted to spend. And, so I was like, there's no way I can pass this up, because God orchestrated that. So I was like, okay, I'm in. But so yes, it's stressful moving. But once I got here, it was kind of like I had more peace because my balance returned. It's stressful living with your
Wait a minute. Stay right there, sis. Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
Hold on. So when you moved, you had more peace and balance return when you moved. Most people, when they move in or when they move, it's stressful. What happened? How did that?
Well, because I got back in my pace.
Ooh.
Right. That's good.
When I was living with my mom, there was always that feel of urge, okay, like it's coming up on a deadline. Like when you're living, especially when you're living with a parent and you're an adult, you're just like, I gotta go. It was getting to that time. And so, I love my mom and everything, but it's two adults living with each other, and it was time to go. And so, but once I got back in here, I'm at my pace again, and I'm at my, I'm able to, I don't feel like I'm striding anymore, because I felt like I was striding to try to make sure I could to leave there, but I'm back on my pace that I'm supposed to be at again. And so that brought me back into balance.
I don't know if y'all heard what she said, but I'll be like and reiterate it, because that's what I do. But it's something about being out of balance when you're in a place where you don't feel either you are still thriving or you're still striving for something, or your goal has not been met. And when your goal has not been met, a lot of times there is not a lot of peace, because you like, I've got to meet this goal. I got to meet this goal. But when she met the goal, and she was no longer striving.
Mm-hmm.
There was a peace and a balance that came simultaneously. She got her own rhythm. She was moving at her own pace. Love, ooh, I see myself in my future. Hallelujah. Glory.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see myself through you. See, this why we had to start this thing off with you. This is the
Yes.
reason. Okay, praise God. Fabiana, go ahead with the next question, sis. Oh my goodness, this is good.
Okay.
I feel like a facilitator right now.
Yes, that's good because, like she said, two adults. When you have more than one adult in the house,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sis,
it's just not working.
Right.
don't work. What say? Don't work.
Absolutely.
Don't work.
Absolutely.
So, okay, the next question is, when you feel overwhelmed, what tactics? What are some quick tactics that you can share with the audience? Just to take a breather. It doesn't have to be an all-day spa, but just some quick tactics. They can refresh. I'll say that word. You know.
Um, okay, so one I would like to say is first you got to know when you're overwhelmed. You'd be surprised when people don't realize that they are overwhelmed. Right. So for me, I know I hold stress in my shoulders. Right.
Mhm.
So I inadvertently start going like this, and I can feel the tension. And so you have to. I like to say deep breathing works. You can do that anywhere, just while you're driving. Turn off if you have to drive. If you say you have a commute to work, most people have at least 10 minutes to work. Turn your radio off, and it's mindfulness. Basically, I like to say point out the sky. Look at the sky
Mm.
safely while you're driving, or look at the color of the trees and the grass. And also, you can add gratitude with that. You can say, "Thank you, God, for the color of the trees. Thank you, God, for the grass. Thank you." Or you can just do deep breathing while you're looking at it. But most time, nature calms a lot of people. So if you can just look at nature
Mhm.
and kind of focus on the grass being green, or or the um, the sky being blue, and try to clear your mind that way in a safe way while you're driving. But or even just when you're sitting in your chair, just deep breathe. Like notice your breath. Like take deep breaths, you hold it,
Mhm.
and then release it like you're
Wow.
deflating a balloon. You do that about 5 times, you can notice a lot of stress coming off of you, or your body feeling less tense. Um, there's a lot of different apps now, like the Calm app. Some people use that.
Mhm.
I say use that on a lunch break. Or there's also just taking time, that car sit for all the moms and for all the ladies out there. That 5 minutes after you get out off of work, or when you come from the grocery store, instead of taking all the groceries in the car in the house real quick, take 5 minutes
Wow.
and just sit in the car. Just sit. You don't
That is
realize the
so
power of that
good.
car sit, okay?
Mhm.
I've been in the car for up to an hour sometimes.
I
Just
have
being
to.
honest. Because sometimes, realistically, some people don't get peace anywhere
No,
else
no.
but their car.
That is good. And
And
yeah, with that car ride, I found that as well because a lot of times we turn on the radio, we start singing whatever
Mhm.
we're singing, or we're listening to the news. We don't
Mhm.
have time to even think because once three songs have played,
Yeah.
we done made it to our destination.
Yeah.
So we don't even have time to think and release some stuff
Mhm.
because we're busy either fussing at the kids in the back
Yeah.
or listening to some music or listening to the news that's on the radio. So
Mhm.
having that peace in that car,
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, if my car can talk,
Yeah. Yeah. And even just that could be too. Just talking out
Mhm.
loud. Turn off your radio and talk out loud.
Yeah.
If you
Hold
have,
on, Fabiana, that sounds like a book. If my car could talk.
It does. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So much
That,
can be done just while you're traveling throughout the day, but it's the point that you have to realize you're when you need it. I think that's where a lot of people have to start, is realizing that you're already taking the time to drive somewhere. You can take that time to take care of you too. So
Ooh,
it
that's
can go hand
good.
in hand. Like I said, I'm a mom, so those twofold things, I'm all about them.
yes.
Birds with one stone, let's do it. So and then that's a good time too to just implement, with your kids. I had a sorority sister, she never rides with the radio on. That's a good time
Wow.
just to have conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
that's
that a
good.
lot too.
Mhm,
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, especially if I have a long commute, I
mhm,
just ride and I just let my mind be at ease, or just
Mm-hmm.
think
Mm-hmm.
or meditate or
mhm.
pray.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like you
Yeah.
say, just take in the surroundings. It's just something. My car is a
Mm-hmm.
zen place.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a place of peace for me. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like when other people get in, I'd be so used to just not having a radio or anything on. Sometimes
mhm,
they'll get in and they're like, and I'll put it on for them, but for the most part, I'm just so used to
Mm-hmm.
riding without it. Or sometimes I'll do an audiobook,
mhm.
and
Yeah.
that's the time I'm riding and I'm listening to an audiobook or something, or podcast or a sermon. But for the most part,
Yeah,
I'm just riding and being at peace.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Amen.
people are scared of silence,
Ooh.
you know, and
Mhm.
so they don't. Even just going through my program, they kind of teach you how to just be silent.
Oh,
I never minded silence. I was a case
either.
manager for foster kids. And so I was used to silent rides with when I had to transport, because sometimes you didn't want to talk,
Right.
like you need to be thinking about what you did, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah, so like some people don't like silence. But it's nothing to be scared of. But it can be good, but it's just that you have to learn your signs for you
Mhm.
when
Mm-hmm.
you are at your point of, hey, I need to calm down, or
Mhm.
I need to take care of me.
Yeah.
And it's
I
okay
think
not to push past
that,
that point. Because I think we as women, when we get to that especially as Black women, we get that superwoman complex that we have to do it all, and we have to keep in
Mhm.
that motion. I'm guilty of it too. But just like I said, I like to tell my clients that a sure way to do nothing is to do everything.
Mm.
So sometimes you do have to just get down to the basics and just do one thing at a time. And
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
over the last 2 years, that's really what I have tried to focus on, is just do one thing at a time.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So when you say a sure way to do nothing is to do everything, are you saying doing one thing at a time?
Mhm. So when I say that, meaning like when you have a lot of big tasks at hand, like trying to say, okay, say you're trying to, what's some good examples? Um, Let me give just something generic. Say you're trying to teach a class, but then you're also trying to bake a cake, and then you're also trying to change a diaper, and then uh, you're also trying to tell somebody directions. Okay, I know that's a lot of different random things, but I'm just trying to get the
Mm-hmm.
get the imagery going. So all those random things that we're trying to do, all of them can be completed, right? They're all pretty simple tasks, um, if we do them one at a time. But because we try to do everything at once, something
Mhm.
either doesn't get completed how it's supposed to be done, or something either falls to the wayside, or something is it's done, but we didn't. It could have been better because we didn't give our best.
Mm-hmm.
So when we try to bite off so many chunks of trying to do everything, that's kind of like our say that balance starts to tip, because
Mhm.
we don't have any. We basically we're not. Why are we doing it? We have no direction. If we sit and ask, like, why are we doing all these things? What is our why? and
That's
can
good.
be done one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It may take a little bit longer,
Mhm.
but will we have more peace and more balance if we do it one at a time versus trying to do everything? We want our business, but we can't go from $1 making $1 today to $1 million in 2 months. You could, if that's God's plan. Yes, it can happen.
Mhm.
But you know what I'm saying? Like usually, most business owners have to go through a learning process, right? They have to go through. Okay, this worked, this didn't work. This worked, this didn't
Mhm.
work. But if they never see through what worked and keep trying to revert back or keep trying to change it and never see if it really is working, then why are we doing it? We're just creating more confusion for ourselves and more discord. So sometimes we have to just say, okay, let me finish this because I can
Mhm.
do this well, so I can do this
Mm-hmm.
well,
Mhm.
and then let me move on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 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 I see what you're saying. I like it. Oh, I think I got some relief off of that. Okay. Kawana, can you take us to our next question?
Sure. So, what would you say some suggestions would be for balancing new life changes, such as, a new career, moving to a new city, um, or just moving in general? But like for me, I'm just moving to a new city here recently, and kind of starting my career over in corporate. So, what would be some suggestions that you could give in that area?
I would say give yourself some grace. I just got my license, so I'm starting a new position. Yeah, you're starting in a new area. Give yourself some grace. You may feel like you're failing at first, but give yourself some grace, because it's new. It is, it is, don't doubt your abilities, but just give yourself some grace because you're learning what they want you to learn, right? And so you're going to add your flair later because you already got it,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to learn it the way they want you to learn it first.
Mm-hmm.
So give yourself some grace. I say that to myself too because I had a rough I have rough weeks too because I'm just like I don't know if I'm doing this. I think I'm failing, but I know I'm not failing because I don't doubt my abilities. It's just that sometimes when something is new, it's like we have to kind of catch up
Mhm.
because it's like okay, we're here now. Let me get settled, but once work starts, it's kind of like go go go. So give yourself some grace. And then
Awesome.
first set good boundaries, right? If it's something
Mm.
that you need more training on or that you need help with, ask for it. That doesn't mean that we can't do it. It just means like, hey, I want to be better at it. Help me, right?
Listen,
And so
Awesome.
I think you're speaking to me, sis. I think you're speaking to me.
yeah, and
Awesome.
then because when we have good boundaries, then you know we also that comes with awareness too, awareness of ourselves, and then awareness of we kind of see, okay, is this company really taking me seriously? Are they
Mhm.
really? Is this really for me? Um,
Ooh.
yeah, and then
Hold on.
go ahead.
How? Okay, so this right here is what I need in my life. So you said, is this company taking me seriously or is this for me?
Mhm.
Mhm.
How do you distinguish between the two?
So I think if the company is for you, that's what you got to talk to God about,
Hmm.
right? Does it? Some companies don't the way they do things don't fit our values. Because if the
Mhm.
company is asking you to do things that you aren't comfortable with, that company is not for you. Because it's
Mhm.
always going to be going against your values, and it's always going to be going against. You're always going to be tussling with yourself, like I don't know if I should be doing this. Like,
Right.
it's always going to feel like an attack on you, basically. Um,
Hmm.
and then on the other hand, if the company's not taking you seriously, that one, it's kind of like if you've been there a little bit longer in that
Mhm.
company, and you know that you put in the work, you know that are you have the qualifications for these things, and it's like they always pass you by. Like, you know,
Mhm.
you have
Mm-hmm.
conversations, nobody can really give you any feedback of
Mm.
why you don't. Then it might be time to evaluate, do they really
Mhm.
value what I bring to the table?
Right.
Good.
Okay. I love this. I love this
Mm-hmm.
conversation. I love what we're doing here. I feel like, this is a private session for me. And my sisters is just alone with me. But I'm sure they're getting some gems as well.
Oh yes.
Um, I have really, really enjoyed this. I cannot say thank you enough. Um, I can't wait to go back and rewatch this. I can't wait to Thrive on Thursday. When I tell you this has literally ministered to something that I knew I needed, and
Mhm.
but I didn't know you was gonna be the one to give it to me. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thankful. I'm thankful.
Wow.
Can you tell the people how they can get in touch with you, and then we'll let Fabiana and Kawan, if they have one more question, they can ask it. And if not, they can just say some final words.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook as Jessica Renee. Also, you can go to reach me at the Godly View page. Email that's also linked to us, the Godly View one at gmail.com. I'll get emails there as well.
All right, Fabiana, you have any last questions or comments?
Um, I think we hit all the questions, especially with the transition of new cities, new jobs, and things like that. So I believe you did an awesome job touching all the bases and giving us some great things and techniques to use on a daily basis, such as myself. I felt like it was a free session as well. Because I'm trying to transition as to be an empty nester. So I'm
Well,
thanking God for the segment. As I tell people all the time with the Woman of God's Business, you can begin again.
yes.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's going to be scary in the beginning, but you can begin again. Whatever that transition is in your life, you can
yeah,
begin again.
I love it. I love it. Kawana.
Um, like Fabiana mentioned, I think we did kind of hit all of the areas. This was very therapeutic and very awesome. I think we all could use this from time to time.
Yes.
I guess one really quick question, maybe. So, like with me relocating to a new city or a new area, so to speak, outside of like career and things of that sort, um, what would you say as far as keeping peace and balance when you're getting out in the area and scouting and just seeing kind of what's out there and putting yourself out there in a new area, basically.
Well,
So,
take.
how would you speak to that?
I think that you have an awesome opportunity because you kind of get to re-represent yourself, and so
Mhm.
you get the chance to put the foot that you want to forward. And so I would say go out when you go out, begin to find places that bring you joy.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, are you okay? I want to ask a clarifying question. Are you speaking about representing yourself in more of like networking places, or just in places to find that to find your community, basically?
I guess the latter. The
Okay.
latter.
So again, you have that unique opportunity to find places that you enjoy, right? And let the person who you want to shine through, because you got to realize nobody knows who you are.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that person that you were where you came from doesn't have to be the person that you brought with you. So those same fears that you had of introducing yourself, or those same fears that you had of, well, I'm shy, or do they know me like this, or you don't have that here, right? So you have the unique opportunity to say, hey, this is really who I am without that stigma of what I felt I was chained to previously where I came from.
Yeah.
Now, I get that people do have social anxiety. Could you put me back to where I can see her?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I like to speak to people directly. I'm sorry. I don't like that when I'm talking to you, I don't like to be on the full screen because I can't see your face. But you have the unique opportunity to represent yourself in the way that you want to be represented, and not tied to the fears that you had where you previously came from.
Cool beans.
And so if you do have, if I don't know, if there you or somebody out there does struggle with the anxiety of meeting new people, start small. You know, I do well with kind of doing one-on-one and then going to a group. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you have somebody that can go with you, do that. But then it's also okay too to pick a day, pick a Saturday and say, okay, I've picked these places. I'm going to go and make an adventure of it. Because most of the time when you go there, you're meeting the same people who have the same interests. So you
Awesome.
can start by saying, oh yeah, look at that painting, or whatever you're into.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you already have a common interest because you're in the same spot.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's all I had.
Okay,
So thank you very much.
we can hear you.
Andrea?
Can she hear you?
Um,
While she
I
gets
think.
herself together, it's been awesome. Even I've learned off that, even though I've been in Charlotte for 5 years. That's a good thing to take away from this as well.
Mm,
Um, that stigma of your hometown, or going to visit some new places that you're interested in. And of course, if somebody else is there, then they're interested in it as well. So
Yeah.
that's good. Good question, Kawana. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica,
that was good.
for giving such uh, a detailed layout of how it should be, or how we would feel comfortable doing it, especially in new surroundings. And if
Mm,
you are an introvert or
Yeah.
shy,
Yeah.
ways to get around it, but still get out there, because we need to meet new people. We need to
Hmm.
do new things.
Hmm.
mm,
So,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Andrea?